In life, the most ordinary places often hold the greatest mysteries. One such place is the toilet, a place most people overlook, yet in the unseen world, it is often used as a doorway by negative energies, curses, and witchcraft. If you truly want to guard your home and your spirit, you must learn the cleansing rituals that witches fear the most. Today, I will reveal to you 4 powerful toilet cleansing rituals that can block spiritual attacks, remove hidden energies, and restore peace to your life. When we think of danger, most of us imagine something loud, visible, or threatening. But in reality, the most dangerous forces are often invisible, hidden in places where our awareness is weakest. One of those places is the toilet. People see it as nothing more than a physical necessity, a tool for hygiene, but in spiritual reality, it can act as a subtle gateway. Why? Because water is not only physical, it is energetic. It carries vibrations, it moves energies, and when water collects in a single place, it becomes a medium where both positive and negative forces can attach themselves. This is why throughout history, water has been central in cleansing rituals, baptisms, and purifications. But just as water can cleanse, it can also be misused as a channel for spiritual attacks. The toilet, being a place where water is constantly present, becomes a vulnerable doorway. Witches and practitioners of dark arts know this. They target areas where people are careless, where people do not pay attention. And the toilet is often one of the most overlooked. Imagine it for a moment. This is a place where waste leaves your body, where impurities are released. That process itself creates an energetic opening. If not guarded, if not cleansed, it is like leaving your door slightly open at night in a city full of thieves. You may not see them, but they are watching for opportunities. Many people wonder why they suddenly feel drained in their own homes, why arguments arise without reason, why a heavy atmosphere lingers in certain rooms. What they don't realize is that spiritual pollution doesn't always start in the obvious places. Sometimes it flows from where the water stands, where negative words or curses have been silently directed. Some traditions believe that spirits of impurity are attracted to such places, not because of the physical waste, but because of the unguarded energy around them. Understanding this truth is not about fear. It is about awareness. If you know a doorway exists, you can choose to guard it. If you know an opening can be exploited, you can seal it. Just as you would not allow strangers to enter your home freely, you must not allow negative energies to enter your inner space through unattended gateways. The toilet, therefore, must no longer be ignored. It must be acknowledged for what it is, both a physical necessity and a spiritual responsibility. Once this awareness takes root, the rituals I will share with you will no longer feel like superstition. They will make sense. You will see that every action, pouring salt, adding vinegar, burning incense, speaking words of power, has a purpose, a reason, a vibration that directly addresses this hidden doorway. Awareness opens the mind, and practice seals the spirit. That is why, before we go deeper into these rituals, you must first recognize the toilet not only as a place of release, but also as a place of vulnerability. Only then will you understand the importance of protecting it. Salt has been known since ancient times as one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for purification. Across cultures and traditions, it has always carried a reputation for driving away negative forces and creating protection around those who use it. There is a reason why soldiers once carried it for strength, why healers sprinkled it around homes, and why even today, people instinctively feel a sense of safety when salt is present. Its vibration is pure, steady, and it naturally neutralizes lower frequencies. When combined with water, it becomes more than a kitchen ingredient, it becomes a spiritual shield. Now consider what happens when salt water is poured into the toilet. On the surface, it may look like a simple act, nothing more than mixing 2 ordinary elements together. But in truth, it is a very deliberate cleansing of a vulnerable space. The toilet, as we've already seen, can be a doorway for energies to attach themselves. Salt water, when released into that channel, breaks the hold of any residue that lingers there. It doesn't just wash away what is seen with the eyes, it disarms what is unseen with the spirit. For this reason, those who practice witchcraft often despise salt, because it disrupts the pathways they try to use. It closes the door they attempt to open. The act itself does not need to be complicated. A handful of salt, stirred into a bowl of clean water, and poured directly into the toilet carries with it more power than most realize. As the water moves downward, imagine it carrying away not just the physical but the energetic. Imagine it sweeping away words that were spoken against you, the envy that may have been directed at your life, or the lingering heaviness that you cannot explain. This is not imagination for the sake of comfort. This is aligning your intention with the natural purifying force of salt. But intention matters. It is not only about pouring salt into water, it is about knowing why you are doing it. As the water flows, you must be clear in your mind and heart. You are releasing, you are cleansing, you are sealing. The toilet, once a vulnerable point, becomes a place of protection, because you have chosen to use the natural elements to stand guard. Salt, simple as it may seem, has the ability to reset the vibration of a space. It returns balance where imbalance has crept in. It restores harmony where disturbance once lingered. Many overlook this ritual because it feels too small, too ordinary. But that is the way of true power. It is often hidden in simplicity. The greatest defenses are not always the most dramatic, they are the most consistent. A simple habit of salt water cleansing, practiced with awareness, can block forces that would otherwise try to infiltrate unnoticed. Fire and water have always been seen as opposites, yet when they are brought together with intention, they create a powerful harmony that unsettles any force of darkness. Fire is transformation. It burns, it consumes, it turns what is heavy into smoke and light. Water is release. It carries, it washes, it removes what no longer belongs. When you combine the two in the act of burning incense while flushing the toilet, you are not just engaging in a symbolic gesture, you are creating an elemental balance that weakens the influence of spiritual pollution. This is why witches and those who thrive in hidden attacks despise this ritual, because it disrupts the very environment they rely on. Incense by itself has been used for centuries to shift atmosphere. Its smoke rises upward, carrying intention and cleansing the space it fills. The fragrance of certain incense calms the mind, clears stagnant energy, and makes the environment feel lighter. But when incense is burned in the very moment the toilet flushes, something deeper takes place. The fire of the incense purifies the air, while the water below carries away impurities. One rises, one falls. Together, they close the circle, leaving no opening for negativity to linger. Think of it this way. When water alone is used, it cleanses, but the air above may still hold vibrations that are unsettled. When incense alone is burned, it clears the space around, but the gateway of water may remain open. When both are done together, it is as if the space is sealed from both directions. The smoke fills the atmosphere with purity, while the water removes all that tries to cling. What results is a complete cleansing of the environment, both seen and unseen. The key, however, is not to perform the ritual mechanically, but to be present as it happens. As you light the incense, recognize that the flame you ignite is symbolic of inner strength. As the smoke rises, visualize it carrying away heaviness that does not belong in your home. As the toilet flushes, see the water sweeping away attachments, breaking the hold of curses, and neutralizing hidden energies. When these actions are done with full awareness, you are not only performing a ritual, you are commanding your space to be free. There is also a deeper reason why this act is feared by those who deal in witchcraft. They understand that when you combine natural elements with intention, you create an environment they cannot manipulate. Darkness feeds on neglect, on ignorance, on doors left open. But when fire and water are united in this way, the atmosphere becomes too balanced, too strong for them to gain access. It is like building a wall on both sides of an opening, leaving no passage left unguarded. What may appear to be a simple act of lighting incense while flushing the toilet is, in truth, a deliberate act of sealing your environment from invasion. And once sealed, it is a place where peace can dwell. Words are vibrations, and vibrations carry power. Every sound spoken carries energy into the atmosphere, shaping it, filling it, either with harmony or with heaviness. This is why ancient traditions placed such importance on prayer, on chanting, on spoken affirmations, because the voice is not just communication, it is creation. When you speak over water, the vibration of your words imprints into it. Science has even shown that water responds to sound, to tone, to intention. And when that water is released, it carries with it the energy that has been placed upon it. This is why prayer or affirmations spoken over toilet water before flushing becomes such a potent act of cleansing. It may sound unusual at first, because the toilet is not seen as a sacred place, yet that is exactly why it is powerful to reclaim it. A place often associated with waste can also become a place of release in the truest sense. When you speak words of protection, blessing, and strength over the water, you are programming it with a higher vibration. You are declaring that whatever impurity tries to remain will be carried away, not only physically but spiritually. The very act of flushing then becomes a ritual of release, sending away not just what leaves your body, but also the energies that try to cling to your life. There is no need for complicated language. What matters is sincerity. Words like, I am protected, I am cleansed, this place is sealed, no force against me shall remain, spoken with belief, have more impact than any elaborate recitation without intention. The water listens. The vibration embeds itself into it. And when the flush carries it down, it takes with it those vibrations, ensuring that what lingers is only balance, only clarity, only peace. This is also why those who deal with witchcraft dislike when prayer is spoken into water. They understand that curses and negative words thrive in silence, in unguarded spaces. But when you speak words of life, the frequency of those words disrupts whatever has been sent against you. Darkness cannot remain where light is declared. The sound of your own voice becomes a weapon, not of aggression but of authority. You are reclaiming your home, your space, your spirit with something as simple as sound. Over time, when this becomes a habit, the toilet no longer feels like a place of vulnerability. It becomes a place where you exercise authority. You no longer ignore it, you transform it. The act of flushing becomes a daily reminder that you are not helpless, you are not exposed, you are not open to whatever comes. You are aware, you are prepared, and you are protected. Most people underestimate the voice. They use it casually, they speak without awareness, forgetting that every word released into the air carries a vibration that continues beyond the moment it is spoken. The unseen world responds to sound, and the toilet, being a place of release and vulnerability, is especially sensitive to what is declared over it. When words of power are spoken with conviction, they act as a barrier, a shield that prevents spiritual intrusions from taking root. This is why affirmations and prayers are feared by those who practice dark arts. They know sound has the ability to dismantle what they attempt to build in secret. When you stand before water and release words of affirmation, you are engaging in more than speech. You are shaping the atmosphere. Words such as, this space is cleansed, no evil can remain here, only peace and protection fill this home, are not simply expressions. They are commands, spoken with intention. They set boundaries in the spiritual realm, just as clearly as walls set boundaries in the physical. And when combined with the act of flushing, you are symbolically and energetically sending those vibrations into motion. What once could have lingered, attaching itself unnoticed, is carried away with force, leaving behind only what you have chosen to declare. This act works not because of superstition, but because of alignment. The mind, the voice, and the element of water all join together in unity. Your mind holds the belief, your voice releases the sound, and the water carries the message into movement. This trinity of intention is what gives the practice its strength. Darkness is scattered when there is unity of thought, word, and action. It is scattered because it cannot hold against clarity, against awareness, against conviction. It is important to understand that the tone of your words matters as much as the words themselves. Weak, half-hearted speech carries little weight. But when you speak from the depth of your being, when you stand in certainty, even simple sentences become unshakable. A whisper of faith spoken with conviction holds more power than a loud speech spoken with doubt. The toilet may appear to be a place of lowliness, but in this moment, it becomes a stage where your voice declares authority over your environment. The beauty of this practice is that it does not require anything external. No tool, no ingredient, nothing beyond what you already carry within yourself, your voice. And because it is yours, no one can take it from you. That is why it is one of the most effective and one of the most feared methods of cleansing. It cannot be stolen, it cannot be blocked, it cannot be silenced when you choose to use it. This is why words of prayer and affirmation spoken over the toilet water before flushing stand as one of the strongest protections against witchcraft and spirit attacks. They remind you that the greatest power of defense is already within you. Cleansing rituals are not meant to be one-time actions, performed only when fear strikes or when an attack is suspected. They are meant to become a way of living, a rhythm of awareness that keeps the spirit strong and the home protected. Too many people treat spiritual cleansing like medicine. They wait until the sickness is heavy before they act. But true strength is built through prevention, through steady practice, through living in a state of readiness. Just as the body needs constant care, the spirit requires ongoing attention. When cleansing becomes a lifestyle, it no longer feels like a burden. It becomes natural, like washing your hands or locking your doors at night. You don't wait until a thief enters your home to secure the lock. You do it daily because you understand the possibility exists. The same principle applies to guarding your environment against witchcraft and spiritual attacks. Consistency is what makes the protection unbreakable. One act of cleansing is powerful, but repeated acts create layers of defense, like bricks forming a wall that grows higher and stronger each day. Living with constant awareness does not mean living in fear. Fear drains, it weakens, it invites the very energies you wish to resist. Awareness, on the other hand, empowers. It sharpens your perception. It teaches you to notice the atmosphere around you. It allows you to sense when something feels heavy or out of place. Awareness is the discipline of not ignoring the small signs, the discipline of acting before something grows into a problem. The rituals of salt water, vinegar, incense, and spoken affirmation are tools, but the true shield is the awareness that keeps them in practice. Every time you cleanse, you are not only protecting your home, you are training your mind. You are teaching yourself that you do not have to accept negativity as normal. You are reminding yourself that peace is your right and that protection is within your hands. This creates a deep shift inside, because the more you practice, the more natural it becomes to reject anything that does not belong to you. Witchcraft thrives on neglect, but it starves when faced with consistency. Spirit attacks gain ground where there is laziness, but they crumble where there is discipline. The more consistent you are, the more your home itself begins to carry a different vibration. Visitors may feel it without understanding it. They may sense a lightness, a calmness, a peace that lingers in the rooms. This is the result of a lifestyle of cleansing. It is not a ritual performed only in moments of desperation, but a way of living that refuses to leave openings for darkness. That is why cleansing must be seen not as an occasional task, but as an ongoing practice, a rhythm of life that keeps your spirit guarded and your home unshaken.